Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Hello and welcome to another Getting Projects Done with me, your host, Chris. I am going to be working on some new Warhammer 40,000 Indomitus Necrons today. That's kind of what's on my agenda today. I'm going to start assembling them because basically I do plan on doing some videos, tutorials and such. As some of you may or may not know, that's what I do for, for a vast majority of my time, my living, as it were. And of course, if you want to help support the channel and all that, I do have a Patreon. Just go to waythebrush.com and, you can find all the links for all the stuff. But, yeah, so I hope everybody is doing well. Hopefully you're all staying safe in this interesting times we live in. And, yeah, hopefully you're all doing well. It's pretty crazy these days, pretty crazy. But I digress. So, I was granted early access, as it were, to the Indominus Boxset, new starter for 9th edition Warhammer 40,000, 40K as the common nomenclature is known by. It's I'm looking at the price tag of this box set, and if I'm just getting into Warhammer 40,000, it is it's pretty darn cool. And you know what? Honestly, I think it's a really good value. And if you have the opportunity, the means to acquire it, if you're a Space Marine player or a Necron player, I think it's pretty obvious that you probably will be getting this. But, if you want all these, really, what I'm looking at for the price tag, just the Space Marine stuff alone is worth that. Plus, you get the big rule book, and all the Necrons. Or if you're a Necron player, you get all those Necrons for that price, plus the rule book. It's, it's almost a no-brainer, really. But anywho, we are going to have a peek. Well, not really a peek. I'm going to just start working on Necrons, because there's all bunch. Now, I don't know. It shows the 2 different guns in the unit. But there's 20 of these guys, so maybe I'll do 10 with the regular rifle and 10 with these double-barreled guns. I don't know. I have no idea what it is. I'm not a Necron player. I'm an Eldar player. Necrons are the sworn enemy. But I do want to get a bunch of these guys done up, because I do plan on making some videos on this, some tutorials, if you will. And I think it'll be a lot of fun. So we're just going to get cracking. It's pretty chill today. It is blistering outside over here in my neck of the woods. I'm in North America, Canada, over by Niagara Falls, just to give you an idea of whereabouts I am on this planet. And yeah, I'm looking forward to these. These sprues are really quite impressive. I'm gonna get this out of my way here. These sprues are really something. I really like the lengths they went to with these models. Oh, I assume these little rocks are for the scarabs. Yeah, even the scarabs, undersides, have details. I don't know if let's zoom in a bit here. Let's give you guys a peek, as it were. Let's go here and here. Let's do something like that. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. Hey yo, Ghost. Yeah, so this is the underside, but look at the scarabs. They got little details underneath. Usually they don't bother with that kind of thing. Right there. The little scarabs. Here, let's look at the underside here. Oh, jeez, I'm hitting stuff. I'm knocking all sorts of stuff out of my way. But yeah, lots of little details. I think they're far more interesting than the previous edition's scarabs. And yeah, you got a whole bunch of these rifles. So I think what I'll do is I'll probably could do 10 of these guys with that rifle, and then if that is the case, I'd imagine it is. You probably can do like a full 20 with the rifle. Each frame looks like it can do what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 Necrons with a scarab base. Is that right? So you should have 4 scarab bases? No. 3. One frame has 2 scarabs, and that has 1 scarab. So you should end up with 6 out of this frame. Interesting. All right, let me just fix that camera again, as it's a kind of blurry. Let's adjust it to about here. That should be plenty good. Ghost Starman Deluxe, the new scarab seem really weird. Not sure if I'm a fan. You're not sure you're a fan of the scarabs? Really? I like them. I like the little spideriness to them. Like, obviously they're based upon, you know, like the scarab beetles, right? And they have that beetle look because they got the big, you know, bulbous part to them. And they got the big bulbous heads to them. Although I'm not sure if that, you know, what that means, as they are different sizes, you know? Like, do scarabs grow? Are these things growing? Is there like nests of them? Yeah, just really fun with all the little details. Like this guy here, he's got like wires hanging out of him. This one over here's got wires hanging out of him. Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing this. And I should probably just shut up and start doing it, right? Is there 5 on a frame? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's only 4. What? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What? So okay, so each big frame like this has 10, but yeah, I don't know. Oh, this Necron duder, his jaws. Here, let's see if we can zoom this in again. We're zooming in again. Yes, I'm playing with my camera today, and we're zooming in all over the place here, just to, you know. But yeah, this guy right here. Let's see if we bring that right in. He's missing his jaw. That's a lot of fun. That's fun. That's cool. I'm not sure if I, you know, have a lot of confidence in Necron technology if there's a bunch of bolts and, you know, cords and wires and... Look at this skull. We're just going to go through examining the sprue for the time being. Hold on here. I might as well just leave this on this focus. But this skull here... can we see it? Yeah, this skull here would imply that there's an understructure underneath the head of the Necron. Right? Yeah, because there's like, it's like there's a shell, and then he has like a skull within his skull. It's a skull within a skull. The skull has skulls with skulls. That is interesting. I mean, if we can have Space Marines within Space Marines, we can have skulls within skulls. And in fact, that is where you know Warhammer 40,000 is going. Skulls within skulls. Eldari Lamborghini consume. Yes, I'm wearing my one of my favorite shirts today. I don't know if you guys can see it well, but anyway, it's a play on Monopoly and They Live, one of my favorite movies of all time. John Carpenter. It's a good film. If you haven't watched it, check it out. It's like I'm shilling for John Carpenter or something. Eldari would be more apt if you were making NIDs. If I were making NIDs. Like the different sizes of scarabs, if like there's the growth patterns to them, yeah. Alrighty. We're gonna quit farting around here. Let's get down to business. So we got our handy trusty rusty guide. It's actually a pretty thick guide, but I mean it's comparable to Dark Imperium, because like Dark Imperium had a whole bunch of, you know, instructions inside of it and everything like that. It's got nice little painting guides to get everybody inspired. I am kind of looking forward to doing some of the Space Marines with the close combat weapons. And this guy is just really cool looking. And this big walker doodad, I don't know what that's about, but that's going to be fun. Now the thing is, as I'm thinking about, like, because I'm all about the ideas, right? And the way the Necrons are sculpted, you almost kind of have to do them weathered and damaged, right? Because of the way they're sculpted, like that detail on the carapace and everything like that, like that's all sculpted in there. But what if you wanted it to look kind of clean? But I guess that's not really the background. But I mean, you know, the old background was like they were made of like this kind of living metal, and you know, maybe that's why the scarabs are all different sizes. Maybe they do grow because they're made of living metal. Anyway, the scarabs look pretty easy. It's a two-step process. Cut the beetles free, glue it to the rocks, glue that to a base. And they're on a 40 mil base. Okay. Yeah. Well, it's made in the UK. Well, if you need the full painting guide, visit citadelcolor.com/guides. There you go. Very, very cool. Oh, the Warriors are right here. Look at that. Flipped right to the Warriors. Sweet. I like when a plan comes together. Yeah, this thing is crazy. It's kind of War of the Worlds-ish, right? These little duders. I don't know what these guys are. These little cryptecs or whatever the hell they are. Crypto Thralls. And the Cryptek Reanimator. Ooh, the Reanimator. There was a cheesy movie back in the late 80s. I believe it was called Reanimator. These guys are just cool. These little tripoder dudes. They're pretty cool. All sorts of stuff. The bikes. How could we forget about the bikes? The bikes are pretty straightforward. They're only just like, you know, slap a couple pieces, boom, boom, boom. Right? I like that the hand, I don't know if you can see that, the hand is sculpted to the handlebar. I don't know if they did that with the last iteration of bikes, but I always remember the hand was like, you always had to, like, you know, because if your upper portion was like off, then the hand wouldn't grab the handlebar, and a lot of people had that issue way back in the day. I don't know if that was corrected in recent years, but yeah. And these guys with the melta-guns. What is it? Eradicator Squad. Space Marines with close combat weapons. All sorts of fun stuff. Somebody had asked the question on the video yesterday. I posted the unboxing of this. And somebody had asked for the Space Marines if there was all unhelmeted heads or helmeted heads, because they didn't like painting the flesh. And I don't know. I think there might be. Well, the Space Marine squad, yeah, they're all helmeted. All the Space Marines are helmeted. The bikers, well, biker dude, one dude's got a no helmet, but that might be, you know, maybe all of them can have. Oh wait, does it show an optional head? You know, it doesn't really show it like an optional head. Usually it has like the little gear symbol that there's options. I don't see any. But yeah. So these are pretty much monopose. I thought there might have been a little bit of, you know, you can change the pose of the arm a little bit, but it looks like these are pretty fixed, which means that, you know, they're straight up monopose. There's only one pose for them. Geez, look how straightforward it is for this guy. He's 4 pieces: front, head, arm and staff, and backpack, and that's it. Oof! Look at his backpack. He's got a big pin. He's got a big pin. Goes up his. Very, very cool. I like the way they do their guides, though. They've been very straightforward these days. Awesome. There's 28 mil bases. Wonder if, no, it's only one 28 mil base. Who's on a 28 mil base? Who is on a 28 mil base? It's got to be like one of the little henchmen or something. Well, there's only one, so it's got to be one duder. One duder's on a 28 mil base. It's got to be a Necron. But who? Who's on? Oh, maybe it's this guy. Yeah, it's this little. Oh, it's this little doodad that comes with this. I guess accompanies him. This little doodad's on a 28 mil base. Everything else is 32s. I like 32 mil bases. Oh yeah, I said I was gonna stop flapping my gums, right? Yeah, I think we'll do half and half. We'll do 10 with just the rifle, the Gauss Flare, and I'll do another 10 with the Gauss Reaper. Gauss? Tomato? Is that a thing? I'm just trying to get my work area sorted here so I can get all my self in a row here. Oh crap, where am I? Ghost Star Man, they look a little too natural. I don't know. Yeah. Eldari, ooh, all the zoom. Greenleaf Terrain. Do you even stream? Sometimes. I've been known to stream sometimes. Ghost Star Man, Chris, could you show us the back of the warrior's head? I'd like to see what the joins are like. Back of the warrior's head? Alright. I can. I will accommodate. Because I'm kind of an accommodating kind of guy. Sometimes. Sometimes I'm a right dick, but I'm just going to adjust the focus. There we go. The back of a warrior's head. Any warrior? Looks like they're kind of like plugs. So, like for example, yeah, see like these three heads right here, right? Regular looking warrior duders, right? The back of that looks like a plug. You can see there. Oh, here, let's move this light right about here. There we go. Keep bumping into it. Yeah. You can see, yeah, they're just plugs. Because the torso is that the front or the back? That's the front. Is that the front? Oh yeah, that's the front. Yeah. So the front of the torso is a bit like this. And that's where the head plugs in. So the torso has the back of the head. Right? That's the back of his head. Interesting. An interesting choice. Alright. We got our X-Acto blade, we got our clippers. We're all ready to go. Maybe I'll put this on autofocus. I usually don't like autofocus just because it tends to jump around, but I'll leave it on autofocus just because I'm probably going to be working up and down, right? Yeah. Well, the autofocus is pretty responsive. Get a little too close and it jumps around. But either way. Yeah, I'll leave it on autofocus for now. Alrighty. So, what does it say? It says, get started with 17A. Now, usually, when I'm doing assemblies and stuff like that, I usually go fully through the instructions, have a look, familiarize myself with the sprue and all that, and then I start my assembly process, and I like to see how things are going, and basically where I'm going to make cuts on parts and things of that nature. My assembly process is sometimes lengthy, but I like to do it right, and also I do go through and knock down mold lines and sprue nubs and all that. So we probably won't get through too many today. Hopefully maybe we can get through one frame, but as it is, yeah, well, we'll see what we do. What time are we at here? 20 minutes. Holy crap, I'm already flapping my gums for 20 minutes here. Greenleaf Terrain, do you even consume? I do consume, sometimes. Eldari, couldn't get more 40K than having more skulls within skulls within skulls. Yeah, skulls within skulls, man. That's what 40K is all about. Skulls within skulls. I'm just going to move these lights a little bit here, just get a little bit more light going on, so we can all see. Ghost Starman. Yeah, the Meltas. Yeah, they're kind of annoying. Ghost Starman. Unsurprisingly, it looks like Indominus warriors are going to be tough to head swap. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like it's one specific torso with 2 heads. One torso, 2 heads. I guess you get your choice of mangled head or botched head. Is there more heads on the sprue than there are warriors? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 on that frame. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. So 20 heads on one frame. So yeah, you can pretty much do it one or the other. Have the squad look all mangled up, or have them, not so mangled. You can have mangled or unmangled. All right, let's get to it. Oh, I got the frame upside down. I was looking at the numbers. I was like, I don't know what that number is. Must have been Greek. All right, so it is sub-assembly of B2 and B3A. So B3A. So there's B3A. So we're going to do 10 with this. So normally, when I'm looking, like I said, I examine the frame before I actually start cutting, because basically what I will do is I will cut at the weaker points or the areas that connect up to really delicate parts. Like for example, you can see, I don't know if it's easier to see, but where it connects up to this blade here and then the barrel. So I'll probably cut in this order: 1, 2, 3, and then 4. And that's usually the way I free a part from a sprue, just to minimize, when you overflex the plastic and you can see that white stress marking on it. That is what I'm trying to avoid, just overstressing. Then also the other thing I do is I cut just a little bit away from the part, and this is typically what I do. So you can see here that where I'm cutting, it's going to leave a big nub hanging there, but that's fine, because again, like I said, I try to be careful. But I just realized that, I almost cut there. There's this tiny little part, right? Yeah, see that little square shape? I almost cut at that point. Come on, focus. See, this is why I don't like to focus. There we go. See that little squarish part right in the middle? That looks like the shoulder, and then something, and then that's the sprue. I almost cut there at that little rectangular part. I thought it was the sprue. But that's the sprue over there, and that middle part, and that's the arm. That connects up inside, so I almost messed that up. And normally I will go just pretty much, 1-to-1. I don't like to go through and clip all the parts, especially when they are monopose and you have obviously fixed positions, and so part to part. So it's best just to follow the directions. Don't use the force and try and just figure it out, because then you're just going to give yourself a headache. So yeah, usually I cut just a little bit away, just like that. That's the arm. So that's B2 and B3A, and then we'll free up B1 as well. Where's B1? Is that a 1? I don't know who this is. There's no number next to this guy right here on this frame. That's 4, 26, 16. Oh, it is a 1. Yeah, this is the guy right here. I couldn't see that little marker. The 1 is just it looked like a groove or something. So on the torso here, I'll free it up. And usually, whenever you're cutting, when I'm cutting the big parts of the sprue away, I usually have the flat part of the snippers away from the model, because I just don't want to pinch too close, and so I cut right. Try and go for a little bit thinner part, but oh well. See there, that was not very good. I should have went a little closer in. We'll get that part, and we'll get this part, and we'll get this part. So this way, I ensure that I am not, I gotta come in on this side, I'm not damaging any of the model itself. Alright, so that's the first part. So let's put this away for a moment. Let's go back to the arm. Can I zoom in the camera a little bit more? Nah, that's probably good. I don't know if I can zoom in anymore. No, I'm on max. I'm on max. Max zoom. Alright. Ghost Star Mandalux. But yeah, those head connections are nothing like the ones in the current box set. Yeah. Because they're kind of like ball and socket kind of joins, right? Because that way you can kind of position around. And maybe later iterations of Necrons, like for this mold, maybe they'll be more posable. I don't know. Who knows? That's probably like a year from now. Hail Bop, heyo, heyo, hail Bop. Greenleaf terrain. Best way I've found for these one fit models is to clip out all the part on the sheet and lay them on top of the part on the page, and then clean and assemble that page worth of pieces. Yeah, sure, that works. Whatever. All right. Then typically, what I'll do is when we get into the finer little parts here. So like I said, that little part there, and that little bit, that little rectangle in the middle, I'll use the flat portion of my clippers here, and I'll keep that closest to the bit as I free it. Sometimes I'll even give a little, as I'm cutting, I'll give a little turn, just because you never see sometimes when you're cutting, sometimes your clippers can start to get a little dull, and you end up pinching the plastic, and it creates like a little divot where the contact point was, right? And so that's kind of annoying sometimes. So here, yeah, this is nice and flat and flush. This is most likely inside the model, so even if we do end up with one of those horrible little marks, it'll be okay. And so just like that, we free that little part, and we have that little nub. Oh, you guys can't even see that. Come on, focus. There we go. Yeah. And so like a big flat part like this, where there's a big nub. Put my clippers, flat end, right? Grab like that. And then sometimes I will turn the clipper, or I'll turn the part, one of the two, as I apply pressure, just to kind of give like a semicircular kind of cut around the part. That's when I'm being very cautious about, you know, my cuts. Usually whenever I am doing game pieces, I'm not this caught up. Like for example, the Aeronautica models, I did pretty rough cuts. Oh jeez, just dropped the model. And I mean, like, you know, I wasn't that broken up if I was, you know, missed a couple points, because again, I fully intend to game with these pieces. So, you know, I'm not doing them up to, you know, high tabletop standard, or, you know, they're not being display pieces. Yeah. So that part is freed up. And oftentimes I will examine a part from multiple angles, just to really kind of get a sense as to like how I should place the cut. Hail Bob, are you going to play Aeronautica? I am. I actually, my son and I are going to play. It's been a while since he's played any tabletop games. He used to play a lot of War Machine. He collected Menoth, and yeah, he used to play. He used to love it, you know, and he even loves the lore in War Machine and such. And yeah, he really got into War Machine. So, and he's very familiar with Warhammer 40,000. He's very familiar with it. Whereas like my wife and my daughter, they're not familiar with this stuff at all. I mean, my wife can tell the difference between a Space Marine and a Necron, and you know what I mean, like that kind of thing. But, you know, as far as the nuances of it all, no, she doesn't know. And that's okay. She doesn't have to. And just like that, that's freed. Yeah, we'll quickly clean this little nubs off. Nubs off. Nubs off. That sounds like a character from Star Wars. Because it sounds like Nine Nub. Nubs off. Oh, what pilot is that? That's nubs off. The pilot nubs off. Yeah, just like to make sure that I'm just doing it right, you know. Because like I said, now I am taking the time to clean these guys properly because I am going to be filming these and doing videos with them. So I do want to prepare them properly because, as we all know, as Chris likes to harp on about, good looking models begins at good preparation. And cleaning your models properly and well, and removing mold lines, drilling out barrels, all that stuff, right? Because once you start taking pictures of your models, all those little tiny little imperfections just come right to the forefront. And you go, I didn't, I missed that part. I didn't get those mold lines. I didn't drill out the barrels, or stuff like that. And you're like, oh no, and it immediately can take a viewer out of the experience, especially if you spent a lot of time on the model and you're like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this and that, and it doesn't look very good, right? Hail Bob, Acon 2021. I'll bring my Imperialis. Cool. You're gonna bring, yeah. I'll bring. I don't know if I'll bring the Lightnings or whatever, but I assume you meant Adepticon, right? Yeah, I'll bring Tower. Whatever's, who knows? God willing, Games Workshop will release Eldar by that point. And everybody's speculating, of course, the next time Aeronautica gets an update, it'll probably be Space Marine and Eldar. Which would be cool because, both those factions have, a lot of flyers, and so it'd be really cool. I would snap up Space Marines and Eldar in a heartbeat. I would snap that up, like, easily. Ghost of Starman Deluxe. Can't wait for Aeronautica NIDS so I can proxy in a bunch of gargoyles. Ooh, yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah. Aeronautica, like, as far as having a lot of flyers, they have, the Harridan? Gargoyles? But gargoyles are really kind of small for Aeronautica. Unless, of course, maybe they did it like a swarm kind of thing where it's just a swarm of gargoyles flying around. They could do that. What else? A Hive Tyrant flying around? Or make up, some stuff. I'm trying to think back in the Epic days. Like, what was the Tyranid flyers? The Harridan. That's the only flyer I can think of. Unless they make up one. The Harpy. Yes, the Harpy. Hive Chrome and Flyrants, yeah. I forgot about the Harpy. Yeah. Eldar, yeah, definitely get some once Eldar are released. Yeah, definitely. I know they will be. I think it's a pretty safe bet because Eldar have some really pretty looking flyers, and for Aeronautica, yeah, that would be really cool. Especially if they like a vampire. A vampire would be awesome in Aeronautica. But mind you, a vampire would probably be almost twice the size of this thing, and this is a pretty big flyer. Could you imagine if they did the Manta? I wonder if Forge World will do a Manta. That would be cool. Huh? Mantas. Ooh. Ebb and Flow, sup everybody? Sup? Geofits, there he is. Geofits, haven't read that name in a while. Nert Savvy? Sup, Chris and Monkeys? Sup, Savvy? Hail Bob, I'll try to clean them up nice, but once I saw lots of models with mold lines and pure sprue marks in GW rulebooks, I stopped being a stickler for it. If I miss something every once in a while, if it's for tabletop, I leave it. Yeah, again, if it's for game pieces, not a huge issue. For me, it is an issue because even a lot of times if I'm doing something for game pieces, I'm filming it, and you know what I mean? And so it's going to be on camera, and of course, kind of have a rep to uphold, right? I mean, people, I've talked about this many times. Like, when you're the painter of your group, everybody always holds, high regard for, anything new you produce. And if it's kind of lackluster, everybody's kind of, well, whatever, And nobody's really, excited for what you're doing, right? And, you get that little endorphin rush when, everybody's like, ooh, wow, look at his models. Oh, look at it. Oh, he did this. And that's really cool. And, yeah, look, how'd you do this? And, you know what I mean? And so, Then, of course, invariably, everybody goes, can you paint my army? Can you paint my army? Can you paint my army? Like, no, piss off. Savvy, I thought this was way to the brush because I stopped keeping track of time ever since the pandemic started. Yeah, well, a lot of people like that. Ghost Starman Ducks could probably have some sort of big floaty things that don't really fly per se. Yeah, like the spore mines. Or like the big versions of the spore mines, right? They could have those. Or maybe they're objective. I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, they could. Alright, so back to work. Now, it's kind of tricky for me because usually, just because as I'm getting older, I kind of have to like bring the model, like the parts really kind of close up. I mean, I could be wearing my magnifiers, but screw it, I'll put on the magnifiers. We got an eye appointment coming up soon, and I think old Chris is gonna have to get himself some bifocals. I know. You're getting old when you gotta wear some bifocals. Sorry, I'm just wiping these down here. I don't think I wiped them down last time I was wearing them. I just don't want to put, fresh sweat on old sweat. Old sweat, new sweat. I might as well wipe my brow now too, because I'm getting kind of sweaty. It's warm. Woof! She's warm out. Strap it on. That's right, I said strap it on. There we go. Oh, excuse me. Okay. Oh, these are all messed up too. They're all dirty. Because I'm moving stuff around all the time. And anyway. Eldari, Chris, do you want to paint my army? No, piss off. Ghost, hey Chris, can you paint my army? No, piss off. I don't want to paint your army. I gotta paint my army. I gotta do this again. God damn it. There. Strapping on again. Had to unstrap. Now I'm strapped on. Strap on, buddies. Alright, what's going on here? Why does this feel weird? There we go. Alright. Nice Princess Leia cosplay, Chris. Huh? I don't get it. Or you want me to cosplay Princess Leia? I don't know about that one either. I don't think we'll be doing that. Alright. Oh, okay, this is alright. I can manage. I'm not as close. Am I in frame? No, I'm in frame. Sorry, folks, this is as close as I can zoom in. Actually, I probably could zoom in more. I could probably just move the camera closer, but we'll be fine. Ebb and Flow. Chris with the magnifier on, you look like you should audition for a 12 Monkeys remake. Savvy, Princess Leia. Go Starman Alex, the scene in the Return of the Jedi where she wears the helmet with the visor. Jeez, Chris. Oh, when she's damn, I can't remember what the hell that bounty hunter suit she's wearing. Oh, I can't remember what that suit, the bounty hunter, that because it's a type of bounty hunter she is. It has a name. Everything in Star Wars has a name. Anyway, okay, I get you now, Ghost. It's just me being dense. Yeah, I get it. Alright, so typically what I'll do is after freeing the little excess nubs, I go through and usually clear where they were, the contact points, and by that usually I just kind of skim along very carefully, not applying a lot of pressure, and just shave the nub down, typically, till it's plain pretty flat. Like I feel it's pretty flat. I'll come at, like, especially on rounded surfaces like this, I'll do it at multiple angles. I'll turn the bit as I'm doing it. Very gentle. I'm not applying a lot of pressure. I'm just gently shaving. That's all I'm doing. Yeah. So the angle at which my blade is at, well, it's a 90, so 45. So it's a pretty steep angle to the surface. It's more like probably a 20, 30 degree angle to the surface. If you really need a descriptor as far as what kind of angle I'm holding the blade at. I know there's probably some of you out there wondering what kind of angle are you holding the blade at? These fine little contact points I will hold close to the bit and very gently just shave the top off. Then once I'm comfortable with where I'm at as far as that's concerned, I turn the blade so it's perpendicular, and then I'll just shave and plane the top off. And if I've made a boo-boo at any point, sometimes I'll just very harshly, I'll hold the bit down, and then I'll just kind of chop that end off and make it very clean, and But otherwise, yeah. So now there's a whole bunch of mold line all over the model. Now we have a whole bunch of these guys to get through, and I don't want to, I'm not painting these up for Golden Demon or anything like that, so I'm just going to do a quick blading of the mold lines. And typically I use my hobby knife, my X-Acto blade. Excuse me. I mean, I just as easily use the mold line scraper, wherever the hell that is. Oh, it's over here. And it works just as good. And sometimes I do like using this tool. This is the older iteration of it. There's a newer version that has, like, I think that brass or bronze coloring on it or whatever. This one here, I like this one because it's got the rubber grip to it, whereas the new version of this has a hard handle to it, and I'm not crazy with that. But anyway, this thing is really good. All it is really just a piece of sharply cut metal. It's not sharp enough that you could cut yourself, but if you apply enough pressure, you probably could cut yourself. But, rubbers. Anyway, and yeah, I like that it's got this curved end to it. That's what I like. It's got a curved end. And that's really good for sometimes a mold line goes inside a curvature, and it's good for getting it at that, But anyway, this tool works fine. Let me see here. Like, you just run it along the surface, and it just knocks that mold line down. That's it. You don't apply a lot of pressure. I highly recommend everybody kind of get into the habit of knocking down their mold lines, especially if you want to get good at your your hobby time. Oftentimes, what else I'll do after is I'll use like an old toothbrush and just clean the excess debris, and also knocks off, because sometimes when you are knocking down those mold lines, when you get to little corners, you'll see like little shaved parts of plastic, and whereas with like a little toothbrush, like an old toothbrush, you just come along. Also, GW has it's in the bathroom, because I use it for stripping as well, because it's got like the GW brush, it's got really firm plastic bristles, and I actually like using that in stripping because it's it's gentle enough but harsh enough to be aggressive as far as pulling paint off a surface. And I've been doing a bit more stripping these days because just kind of clearing a model, or maybe pursue another idea. Like, for example, like I primed this model. This is all primed up because it's a gold plastic, and this has already been primed, and this is a gloss black on this. And I was going to do another showcase on this model, and I was planning on possibly stripping it and then going over it again, but that's a possibility, right? I mean, I don't have them here, but there was a War Machine model, and I had stripped it, and I'd shown it many years ago for a tutorial, and I stripped it so I could show it again, and just reusing, right? Waste not, want not, as they say. Ugh, gotta find my focus here. So anyway, yeah, that's it. That's pretty much my process most of the time. And like I said, I'm not going to get too crazy on knocking down mold lines. I'm just going to pretty much do one pass just to take a majority of the surface off. I'm not too worried about, planing it nice and flat. Although, as I am saying it, I'm doing it, so whatever. Screw it. We're just gonna do it like I normally would, I guess. Because guaranteed, even in these videos, you'll probably see mold lines that I missed or whatever. But that's whatever. Yeah, you can see like little bits of plastic coming off. Change my focus. Now, here's a fun one. Okay, just gonna quickly brush off the excess here. Go Starman Deluxe. When you say an old toothbrush, is that because a worn-out brush is more suitable, or just to clarify that it is not the one you currently use to brush your teeth? Both. So an old toothbrush is really good, especially in this hobby. And in fact, having multiple toothbrushes, like I have another toothbrush around that I use, and this one right now I've been currently using it in my airbrushing and in my model prep. Airbrushing because I use this to knock dry tip off the needle, and it's gentle enough and doesn't force because when you get into the fine tip of the airbrush needle, it can bend quite easily, and so you want something gentle but strong enough that it can pull that dry paint off, without having to like use your fingers or use a tool or whatever, right? And so, yeah, old toothbrush because obviously, yeah, you're not going to use it anymore because you're going to be playing with chemicals and plastic and pewter and resin and what I mean. Like you're just going to be. It's a hobby brush now, but it's gentle enough that when you are stripping, say, a plastic model, right, that it's gentle enough to get into recesses and remove paint, but not so harsh that it's going to scratch up your details. Because even the GW hobby brush, yeah, that one's okay, but otherwise, yeah, just an old toothbrush is good, and you just move along, just like you're brushing teeth and stuff like that. You just semicircular, back and forth, up, whatever, right? And you just get in there and just remove the paint, right? So having multiples of these old toothbrushes around, yeah, they get many uses. One trick I had seen that was pretty good was even on these old toothbrushes, or if you buy a toothbrush and you want to use it just for hobbying, but you want to like wear it down, is actually use like a bit of sandpaper. Here I have this emery. Well, it's not emery board. It's a sandpaper. It's a hobby sand. Like it's rubber, fixes on, and you can sand parts. But anyway, yeah, you just rub the end of the toothbrush on the sandpaper, a fine grit sandpaper, and that basically splays out the little nylon bristles, and it softens them up. And of course, it's also good for clearing out the debris inside your sandpaper. All right. So if you ever just want to get rid of some of the crap out of your, again, there's many reasons why to keep an old toothbrush around. But you can see here, I cleared out that little space in the middle, right? So, yeah. This is becoming tool time. Isn't this stuff I've already shown you guys before? I mean, man, do I still have so much ground to cover? Oh, right, I was going to talk about clearing mold lines off this cabling. Shit. Alright, so when clearing mold lines out from cabling, I often will very gently, I will use my hobby knife, and this is when you really kind of do want to have a hobby knife for these kind of instances. But basically what I do is I just try and keep my angle as I work my way around. I will try and keep the blade perpendicular to the surface, but I also will apply pressure, and I will come one way and then I'll come back over it again, being very gentle but applying enough pressure that the blade falls within the recesses of the details, so you can feel it like jump in and out. And that's why I go back and forth, because that way you're going in and out and you're knocking that mold line down. you're only looking to knock it down. You're not looking to, like, gouge or, change the shape, because that's all you're looking to do. You can do the same on the inside, but you kind of do like a turning motion. So you're going like that, and then coming back, and you're just being very gentle. And now again, if you're doing this for a competition piece, you'll spend a bit more time at it. If it's gaming, but you want it to look good, just a quick little knocking down. And that's it. In fact, you just pretty much just get a feel for the parts, and you just work your way around. Now, curvatures, when knocking down mold lines, I will change the angle of the part as I go, so I'm just kind of like back and forth, because if you plane it one direction, no moving on a curvature, you'll plane a flat surface, and it leaves like a little notch on that surface. So you want to move the part as you're just removing the mold line, because you don't want to create that little divot on that surface, right? So that's the reason for that. So I just move the part, plane it off, and there you go. Bob's your uncle, as the expression goes. Now, mind you, I mean, with these Necrons, because they're old, and they're they got all sorts of crazy little details on them now, that planing a little divot onto it is probably not the worst thing in the world, because it'll just look like battle damage or what have yous, right? Yeah, so like I said, I always use my toothbrush here just to knock those little wheel nuts off the surface, right? Because there's always going to be little wheel nuts, and so I always just knock them off, because they will stay. They will stay, and when you go to paint the model, and you'll see this little thing sticking up off a surface, and you're like, what the, son of a gun. On a flat surface like this, on a raised detail, I'll plane at an angle. I'll keep the blade at an angle as I work my way across. I don't go straight across the detail like this. I actually keep the blade at an angle, just so that I don't hit any other areas. Yeah, and you can see how you end up with that. Let's see if we can see that here. Yeah, and you can see how the plastic's hanging off that little lip there, right? You see the little white plastic there. So as I have my little toothbrush, I just go chook 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 chook, and pulls it off. Almost. There we go, it's gone now. No, it's back. See? Now it's gone. Yeah, you can see there. It's gone now. Right? Anyway. That's pretty much it. Just knocking them mold lines down. Up corners and stuff like that, I usually put it right in the corner and then lift up, and on this back side I'll come back. Not applying a lot of pressure, we're just knocking down those surfaces. That's all we're looking to do. Again, I'm just demonstrating for this, but as we continue to work our way around, you'll see I'll be a lot more quicker with it. But that's it. That's pretty much how I clear mold lines, when I really kind of give a crap about the end result, right? Which in this case I do, because like I said, I'm assembling these for video, and the intention is that I want these to look good on camera, because otherwise you know damn well that somebody's going to say, oh, Chris, you forgot the mold line. Oh, you didn't drill at the barrel. Oh, you didn't do this, Chris. Up, Chris. Up. You're bad. You're bad. So, yeah. And understandably so, I guess. Knuckles, right? Same thing, just like the cabling, stuff like that. I always bring the blade across the surface and then bring it back, but I apply just enough pressure that it falls within the details as you move along the surface, right? Man, it takes me a second to readjust here. Where's that mold line? Actually, mold lines are pretty darn good though. But mind you though, these are pretty early releases off the mold, the assembly line, right? So quality control might be doing their job well right now. I'm sure quality control always does their job well, but you never know. If there is even quality control, I'm sure there is, right? But yeah. So I'm just knocking that nub down. So just give it a quick little shave, and then come back and take the mold line down, and that's it. So little curvatures here. I just quickly kind of knock the mold line, turn a bit around. Now I'm handling this model a lot, and I've mentioned many times in the past that like if you're doing a display piece, and you want to make sure that your paint adheres to the surface well, you really got to be mindful of how you're handling the part and the model, because again, you can see there I kind of gouge myself with the blade, right? Anyway, every hobbyist out there has gouged themselves with their blade at one point or other. It happens. It's occupational hazard. Which is why this is not for kids. And yeah. Jabba's Left Nut. Hi, Chris. What color would complement blue raspberry from Turbo Dork? I've painted flamers of Zinch, and I'm not sure what color to do the flames. I was thinking jade. Do you have any suggestions? Blue raspberry. That one is a blue to purple. Jade flames, so like a green, like a soft green. Yeah, that could work. I think personally, if I was going to do green flames, I'd probably want to go with yellowy green type of flames. Because purple plays nicely with blue, and when next to purple, yellow and purple are complementary, so when they're next to each other, they look brighter, right? It's a high level of contrast. The green element plays nicely with purple because it's got the yellow and the blue. Green flames should work, but I would probably go with a yellowy green rather than jade. Typically is more of a desaturated green, right? Typically when you look at jade, it's a green, but it's not as saturated. It's not as rich or bright as a regular green is concerned. It's almost like this matte, right? This matte's a green, but it's not very saturated. It's not very bright. It's actually very pale element. Actually, the lines on this are blue, so it actually creates this almost terracotta, or not terracotta, turquoisey, I can't. Viridian? Blue green? Is that it? Frick. My brain's going to mush at the moment. Anyway, yeah. But I would say green flames, but I'd go with a yellowy green flames. That would look pretty cool. You could also go with a magenta, a bright magenta flame. That would look cool with the blue purple. If I'm remembering blue raspberry properly. But yeah. Anyway, let's go through, clear off the nubs, or the remainders of the nubs. The fun part is, though, that if you do gouge the plastic a bit, it's okay, because then it looks like battle damage. Making lemonade, man. Making lemonade. Yeah, often on flat surfaces, on broader areas, I will alternate the angle in which I'm drawing the blade along the surface, just to avoid, you know, sometimes, especially when your blade starts to get dull and you're planing on the surface, your tool will skip on the surface, and if you do it too many times, you'll actually develop a deeper gouge into that surface, and you'll see these little stutter marks on that surface. And so that's why oftentimes when I'm cleaning, I'll do it one way, but then I'll change the angle and do it another way, just to avoid those little stutter steps on the surface. Occasionally happens. Doesn't happen all the time, but occasionally. But that's why, you know, you keep the tool moving in your hand, you know. But with these guys, because they have like little dents and divots in the surface, if you created little gouges and little marks in the surface, I don't think anybody would really notice, because it would just look like, you know, damage, right? Job is left nut. Thanks. No problem. Dr. Xantos. Hello, Chris. Hello, Dr. Xantos. I trust everything is well. A little mold line down the spine. Just a quick little blading along its surface, just to knock that line down. Clear the little nub. Also, when doing this kind of thing on your models, it's always good to have a good fresh hobby knife, X-Acto blade, whatever. Just because when you are, you know, if you're going to shave these little excess nub parts off, that a good sharp blade will do it and flow through it really easily, rather than a dull blade, which will, you'll end up kind of like, you know, it's just like shaving for anybody who shaves. You know, a dull blade pulls at that surface rather than a sharp blade, you know, easily moving across and cutting through. Moving it through it like butter, as the expression goes. Cutting like butter. You know what I mean, damn it. That's pretty much it. That's just, you know, working on these things, getting them ready. Again, that's why it's important not to apply a lot of pressure, because you see as I'm cutting in, I'm pushing up against my finger with the blade. But the X-Acto blade won't cut you. I mean, if you apply a lot of pressure, it will. But if you're just applying a little bit of pressure, see, you can even see like I've got a groove in my finger now from applying pressure, but it won't cut you. Right? I can look at, you can even see like surrounding flesh is turning white, right? Because I'm applying pressure. But it won't cut you. But it will cut you as soon as you bring it across. And so that's why when you're doing this kind of thing and you're having your finger braced up against the part, and you're bringing your blade across the surface, you're not applying a lot of pressure, you have a nice sharp blade, but you're not worried about it cutting you, because again, you know, you're not applying a lot of pressure. But as soon as I do this kind of motion, yeah, it will cut me. And especially if it's a nice sharp blade, it'll cut easily and cut deeply. So don't do it. Be careful. For God's sakes, be careful. Yeah, see, we got a little bit of stress there. It's all right though. This is underneath the foot, so it's not going to be seen. Do the inside of the leg here. And that's it, folks. That's really just my process for cleaning a miniature. I know I've made tutorials in the past, but I don't know if I've made any in recent years about my process. This is the way I've done models for ages. And as I learn new techniques and more efficient ways of doing something, it changes. But the way I've described it today is pretty much how I do it as far back as I can remember. This is the way I go about cleaning. Oh, excuse me, cleaning parts. And like I said, I'm just doing a quick little pass over the surfaces just to knock those mold lines off. You'll see sometimes I'm just kind of really quick, like just back and forth really fast, just like, again, because I'm an hour into this and I'm still on the first little part of the diagram for cleaning. But that's okay, we're not in a hurry. I'm going to get a few of these guys done because I plan on working on these guys this weekend so that patrons get early access and see what I have in store for some of these guys. I might even just do a squad just, this way, the way I'm intending on doing these guys. Some of you who've been following me for a long time probably know what I'm going to do with these models. Some of you may not. But I'm sure some of you who've been following me for a long time probably already have an idea of what I plan to do with these guys. Dr. Xantos, how does the box seem so far? Seems fine. I like it. I think it's good value. I mean, the only negative I would say as a modeler is that the fact it's a bunch of monopose models. That's probably the only negative I would say. I'm a little disappointed, but I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm a little disappointed, but I'm not surprised that they went this route, because again, this is kind of intended as, to get new people into the hobby, so they want to make the models not so complicated. And when they're monopose and you follow the directions, somebody who's brand new to this can follow it pretty easily, and they're going to get good results at the end, as opposed to some a model kit what has multiple choices, and that can kind of confuse somebody who's brand new to this hobby. And a lot of times when people are complaining about these kind of things, they forget that there are people who are just coming into this fresh and have no idea and have like very little modeling experience, and you know what I mean. And so, these kind of things, it's a balancing act. And because this is intended as something that's going to get new people into the hobby, they've got to look at it in that regards. I mean, there's a whole bunch of you out there who are real pros at this kind of stuff, and you're gonna look at these kits and go, oh, this is I got to do this, and I can't adjust this, and putting the models into poses that you want is going to be more work, right? As opposed to like a multi-part kit that can be posed any which way. You know what I mean? Like that'll be later. I'm going to assume these Necrons here are not going to be, the box set Necrons we see down the road. They could be. I don't know. I mean, Space Marine kits out of Dark Imperium, those guys were pretty much plug and play kind of thing, as opposed to the box sets that came later, right? So, who knows? George Hintz, subscribe with Twitch Prime. Thank you, George. Whee! I didn't get the little thingy. I have this thing set to tell me like notifications. A little bell should ring. I didn't get my bell. Or maybe it's when somebody follows. I get a little bell when somebody follows, not when somebody subscribes. Yeah, little thing. I gotta do more Twitch stuff. I'm not that used to all the little fun little gimmicks in Twitch, so I really gotta do more. Considering that I stream 3 times a week on Twitch, I really should do more Twitch type stuff. James of Kent, you're going to do them Crimson Fists, the Space Marines? Yeah, I'll probably do them Crimson Fists. I don't know. I might just do, an assortment, because I really have no intention. Like if I was gonna do them Crimson Fists, that's because I was gonna paint them, for an army. But I mean, I always talk about doing a Space Marine army, but I never do. I always end up just expanding upon my Eldar. Do I really need a Space Marine army? Meh. It'd be nice to have, so like, for example, if I was playing with my son, but my son has more interest in Necrons than he would Space Marines, so I don't know. Who knows? Dr. Xantos, Crimson Fist Necrons. Ooh. Ooh. Crimson Fist Necrons actually not a horrible idea. Here's the next dilemma. Do I glue them to their base right now? And this is like key. It's a hexagonal shape on the foot. Do the bases have hexagons? Well, now I got to go see. The bases are in the other room. Hold on, I'll be right back. Pause. Oh. Son of a gun. I had no idea. I didn't see. I missed this the other day with the unboxing, but yeah, the frickin' bases are keyed. You can see the little nub there. All the bases, different sizes. This has got the 32s and the 40s, and they're all keyed. I don't know, you guys. I'm not gonna open this because I'm gonna have bases everywhere, but fucking yeah. See, get the light to play on the service. Yeah, these bases are all keyed. Huh. Well, there you go. See? Making it even easier for new people to get into this. Sorry, was that kind of annoying, the crinkling? Everybody who's got headphones on is probably dying right now. There you go. Some more ASMR for you guys. Alrighty. Grabbing my glue. Grabbing my glue. Anybody who's wondering what kind of glue I use, this is typically what I use. Model Master liquid cement for plastic. This is from Testers. Testers makes this. Testers? Yeah, Testers. Made in the USA. This is my preferred stuff. This bottle I've actually had for a long time. Look at how dirty it is. It's all ganked up. But yeah, I like this one. I like this brand and the way this comes when you buy it. Because it comes with a little wire. It comes actually with 2 little wires, so that in case it gets a little clogged, you can clear it. And because invariably these will clog from time to time, and the GW one doesn't come with it. And I think I did a fresh, or not a fresh tip, but just a tip on finding places where you can find a fine gauge wire. And so oftentimes bread ties are a good source of the little fine gauge wire, and yeah, you just snake this down the nozzle and just clear the blockage. That's all it takes. Anywho, Dr. Xantos, or at least one model for each. Yeah, Dr. Xantos. Well, then that's easier to new players. Then yeah, definitely. Like somebody who's new to this hobby, yeah, you just. And I mean, like you guys see, you got the big connection points. Like it's just gonna clunk, 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 clunk in, right? Oh yeah, I see where it connects up. Huh, okay. Damn, did I screw this one up? No. Yeah, that's the back. That doesn't look like the right connection. Is it? Oh yeah, it is. Okay. It's got me all messed up. It's got me messed up. You got me messed up. Yeah, because it should be something hanging down like that. Yeah, it's keyed anyway. But it shows it like you should do the hand to the gun for. Oh yeah, and where the hand connects up like to the bar. Yeah, you can. Man, you don't even need glue. You just slap that in there. There you go, like that, right? And then, oh look at that, and it plugs in like that. Oh okay. So it helps you. So follow the directions, kids. Follow the directions. They've laid it all out very nicely for you. Alrighty. What time we at? Holy camoles, we're already hour and 15 into this. Ghost of Starman. Bases are keyed because they wanted the box to be fully push fit, I think. Yeah, possibly, right? Anybody who wants to just, quickly slam these guys together, yeah, because you know what, this is essentially just push fit, right? I mean, I put that in there. I do the head to the torso, and then put the arms in place and put the torso in place, and that's push fit. Yeah, you don't even need glue, essentially. If you were just going to assemble these to play with them, yeah, that's it, man. It's push fit. Bang, you're done. Dr. Santos, Miniature Assembly SMR. That's a fantastic idea by GW. I never glue till the end so I can base easier. Yeah. Well, because I think that's what I'll do. And I'm pretty much just going to probably just grab onto that end, and that way I can paint this up, right? I got the little stick, grabby sticks. Oh yeah. Yeah, I get the little grabbies with the alligator clips on the ends. I just grab on when it comes time to paint, right? And just paint it up. Bang. Done. Done. Getting her done. Alrighty. Time to glue. So, even though these are all push fit and it's pretty straightforward, I am still going to score the contact points so that these adhere nicely and will be rock solid. So I'm just scoring the interior here of this little peg that goes in, and I'm going to score the interior of this peg here that plugs in. Now, where somebody might have issue with plug and play like this is sometimes these little pegs that go into a spot, sometimes they're a little too long, and you actually end up creating this big gap in the model. And so sometimes it's good to make sure that you plane these down nice and smooth so that they do fit within their intended spot much better. And so I'm going to do that as I say it, because I'd hate for there to be a gap. Now, because we are taking our time and modeling this properly, we are going to observe all these little things. I'm just going to make sure this plugs in properly. Let's score this contact point up. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the arm already has like this little nub. The nub within the nub. There's nubs within nubs. There's skulls within skulls, and there's nubs within nubs with marines within marines. It's Inception. These guys are obsessed with Inception. So anyway, yeah. These designers are obsessed with Inception, man. The Marines within Marines, nubs within nubs, skulls within skulls. Okay. Oh, I didn't score up this part here. Just going to get the interior here. So the whole point of scoring, for anybody who doesn't know, is you're creating more surface for glue to get a hold of. But because this particular glue, and this is, if you're doing styrene plastic kits, which is what these are, styrene plastic, because essentially resins is a plastic as well. But this is the best stuff to use. Don't use super glue, CA glue. Don't use that stuff to glue your plastic part. You can, but it's a middleman holding your parts together. This is the best stuff to use. Plastic cement, or even like you get like Tamiya, they got like plastic cement. This stuff is good just for, especially really fine, delicate parts, because it's got this little brush applicator, and the brush is super fine. You can see how fine that is. And also, if you're doing a lot of glue, you can catch a bit of a buzz. That's terrible advice. Anyway, all right. So I like these little glues because you can just create a little bit of contact. Because the parts are keyed, this should only go in one way. Bang, like that. And then we'll glue this on this part here. We'll glue it on the back side and the back side of that. Gluing their back sides. Anyway. And there. Now I am going to need, I'm going to push, sometimes I'll find something just small to push those little contacts together. And I'll use the back of my blade. Sometimes the point of the blade, but as long as it's an interior detail, it should be fine. But yeah, just apply a little bit of pressure. You're not applying a lot of pressure, you're just applying just a bit of pressure. And that looks like it's in there properly. Yeah. So that's it for that part. We're an hour 20 into this, and this is as far as I am. You can see why it takes me a while to get stuff done. Ow, damn it. That was cold. Alrighty. The part is B5. Sounds like we're playing bingo now. B5. Where's B5? Is that B5? That says 55. What the hell? No, that's 5. That's got to be 5, right? Yeah, see a little nub hanging off the thing. Okay. So, grab our cutters, and just like before, I cut the points that look weakest. If a part looks like it's got weakness like all around it, like it's just very fine little channels running to the part, then you can kind of just freely pick wherever you want. But I often will cut wherever it looks weakest first and then to the strongest. And that's usually the way I runs when I care about what I'm cleaning. Now the head, should I go with a clean head or a busted up head? That's the question. I'll let you guys ponder that for a moment. Clean head or busted up head? So when I'm cleaning a part, especially really fine finicky, I will often see where that, like, because there's a curvature and then a flat end. And then, like, if I was trying to cut from here, then I'd end up wasting my time, whereas I want the flat end of the snippers, I want that closest to the part, right? Or right up against that surface. And then I just get a little turn as I do it, and there we go. A nice, flush, clean mark. Just be careful, and you just carefully do it. And that's all you got to do. Some of them are just so fine that you can just do it by hand. Now, oftentimes, if you're breaking it off by hand, you can end up with little chunks of stuff, and you know it's not very good. You want to be pretty precise with where you're cutting stuff. Oh, it's little nubs. Oh, because this is the back of the head. Okay. Now you'll end up with little things like that, and so you do want to plane on the flat side of stuff. I'm going to shave that off. That can take care of a part, yeah. Again, we're not applying a lot of pressure. We have a nice sharp blade here. And there's little nubs. And we're just going to I'm just going to flatten it off like that. I don't, because there's like these, it's like almost like a cog, you know what I mean? It's like a wheel with like little bits coming back. This is on the back of the head, so I don't really want to mess anything up because the head is often a focal point, right? Quickly shave that nub. Use a blade, plane it flat. Just like so. Go to the other side. Yeah, a little bit of nub still sticking out. So shave it off. Plane it flat. And that is it. That's how it goes about it. Am I even in camera? Okay, in camera. Just making sure I'm still in frame here. How's my hair? Ghost Starman says, I vote clean. Jabba says clean. Is there a less derpy looking head? I like the derpy heads. I like them having this zombie-like look to them. I like that choice that they made with designing these new Necrons. And yeah. Dr. Xantos, in Finland we say that cold coffee makes you prettier, but my stomach can't take what my face requires. Cold coffee makes you prettier. I've never heard of that in my life. Interesting. Learn something new. So we said clean, right? Okay, so which one's the clean head? Clean head. B4 and B4A. What? B4 and B4A. Okay, there's 4A. And that head's got like a dent in it, looks like. So where's 4? That's 40. That's 24. That's 4A and 50A. What the frick? 14. 2. No, that's 9. 4. Are you kidding me? B4, B4A. That's 14A. I'm getting pissed now. 30. 33B. This is bingo. I'm playing bingo. 40A. What the fritz? Oh, here's 4. 4 is all the way to frick over here. Right here where my finger is at. And 4's got a divot in the head too. What's the difference between 4A and... Well, he's got more dents. Oh, he's got like a big impact on his head. So 4 and 4A. I guess they're all mangled up. Just some are more mangled than others, I guess. Because this guy's still got a dent in his head. Ah, screw it. Let's go with the dent in the head. He's got a dent in the head. We're going to go with A. Or, no. Rick. I don't even know. With tiny little parts, I will cut the main channel away. And then if I can, I will try and keep my finger close to, but not within the way of the cutters. Just so that the part, as anybody knows who's cleaned sprues before, sometimes when you got tiny little parts and you just kind of, clip it away, the part goes flying. And so this is just to make sure the part doesn't go flying away on me. And you can see I got it right in my fingers there. It fell within my fingers. Now, cut the chin, or just below the chin. Yeah, the chin will connect, like the nub connects up to the chin. So, with the flat end of my blades, let's go up, and boom. There we go. The fun part is when you vacuum up the carpet, because I have carpet in my office here. Fun part is that when you run the vacuum through, you can hear all these little plastic bits. Just, it sounds like it's raining. It's fun. There we go. And I think the next thing they should develop, as far as if they're going to design this for like new people or intended for newer people, is kind of seamless. Well, they've been really good lately with the seam lines and where seam lines run on a model, but I think where the channels connect up to a part, it should always be intended where they can cut it and it'll be seamless, and they don't have to worry about clearing off a contact point. You know what I mean? Like, it's just zero fuss. I don't know. I guess it's already pretty much zero fuss as it is, I guess. But anyway. Because, I mean, like, where... Oh, it's keyed because that's where it connects up. No. Yeah. So when it fits in, you're going to have, like, this little groove mark. Because the head is... It's like a gear. It's cogs. They're going to fit together. The back of the head fits like this. Like that. Intriguing. But it's a pretty tight fit. If you find it's a little too tight, now we're gluing this anyway, but if you weren't going to glue it, which I don't know why you would, but anyway, is I usually knock this corners off on the peg, on the ends of the peg, and knock the corner down. So it's actually more like a tapering. And that way the parts will fit in better. Just a quick little tapering, just like that. Just to get the parts to sit nicely. Sit nice and... Whoop! Almost spent the next 10 minutes looking for the part. Oh, man. And yeah, I do it periodically sometimes. I drop the part, it disappears into the carpet. thankfully, each of these bodies has another head, so you know, we can, you know, we'll find it at some point. All right. So now, where these parts are going to connect up, I'm going to score them. Now, because these parts inside the head, where they connect up, I can score inside where they're connecting. So sometimes I will score the interior of the hole, or I'll score down here by the neck, because that's where I'll place a little dab of glue right there. Daba glue. Oh, you know what? I didn't. Oh no, that's, yeah, okay, that should be fine. Should be fine. So we're going to glue the head. We're following the directions. The directions say you should do it like this first. You only need a tiny amount of glue because they're going to melt the plastic and form a proper bond. And that is that, right? Yeah, that's it. And I will show you guys. Yeah, I'll show you guys right now. I'll change the focus. Well, actually, maybe we'll leave the autofocus on. Let's see if you guys can see that. You can see. Can we get nice and close in? Yeah. You can see how they fit together. It's like little cogs in a gear, right? Kind of see that. That's it. I didn't score this interior here. So we'll score this, where this plugs in here. We could also score these little points, because I think that, yeah, they connect up with the other side of the rib. So yeah, we will score these, because I'm going to apply a little bit of glue to here so that these bond together really nicely. And yeah, I'm going to score the peg here. If I'd have been planning ahead properly, I would have scored this, or tapered this peg so that it fits together better, and they'll come together nice and flush. Just sometimes you find that these pegs, they don't sit all the way properly, and yeah, so that's why I'll put a little taper on the end of the peg, just so that, you know, they'll fit together nice and flush. Sometimes they sit flush regardless, because sometimes the peg is not as long as the length of the hole. And yeah, let's glue. Yeah, we'll glue the body. This is also why you want a nice little nozzle here, because you can reach into these little points in here. Just like that. It's a little bit there. It's a little too much. We probably could have used that brush. And let's do that. There we go. Yeah, you need tiny little fingers to get this to sit in there properly. You know what? I'll use this little tool right here, a little mold line scraping tool, just to apply pressure to the part. Oh, shit. There we go. Yeah. Just to apply a bit of pressure. You don't need much because you don't want to crush details. You don't need much. You don't need to force it too hard. And there you go. So I get the nice little seam there. And as the glue melts that interior, you can actually apply a bit more pressure, and the excess plastic will squeeze out. And if you just leave it alone, when the glue finally fully cures and the plastic is like plastic again because it's not melting, the reaction, right? The acetone and the styrene. Anyway, you can plane that smooth, and you'll have no seam line, and you won't even need any gap filler or anything like that. And so you just, you know, take care of it cleanly like that. So let's see here. Just want to make sure that this is sitting up there nice and firm. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. You can see a little bit of glue squeezing out the corners, or even right there. Sometimes you can even just take your blade and just remove it. And in fact, in doing so, you can see it's even actually, well, you probably can't see it on the camera, but when you do it, you'll see that a little bit of squeezed out plastic, it's melting, and it's kind of squishy. But yeah, and you can get rid of mold lines. Now, thankfully, where they've placed mold lines and such, and like where parts join up, it's pretty seamless. And like realistically, I mean, like if I hadn't been talking and goofing around so much, like I'd be a little bit further along on these. But yeah. So just really quickly here, just grab that nub and we can prime this guy and get him ready. Okay? You can see it goes together. Really nice. I said, like, you can see it goes together. There we go. You can see. And the ribs, seamless on the ribs. You can barely see that seam line. Come on, focus. All right, that's pissing me off. I'm going back to manual focus. Manual focus. Here we go. And yeah, we'll have a look inside those ribs. Actually, now I can't see what I'm doing. There we go. All right. There we go. And you can see that seam line. If I wanted to apply a bit more pressure, I could probably squeeze some plastic out. You can see on the other side of the ribs, see the plastic squeezing out there? And I can just blade that off later on and remove the seam line. But because that seam line right there, that's like minuscule. And if we apply a bit more pressure, you know what, let's try it on camera here. Let's try it. See if I can demonstrate it for you all. For anybody who doesn't really do this kind of thing on their kits. Sorry, hands are getting a little shaky. It's getting close to lunchtime for me. Let's see here. If I can apply just a bit more pressure. I'm using the flat side of this tool and my hand. No, it's as flush as it's going to get. The peg inside might be sitting right firm up against the interior. And so that gap tolerance is at its max. Whereas if I'd have cut that peg a little short, I might have been able to push them a little closer together. Again, you know, all these things as you develop as a hobbyist and, you know, putting things together. But there you go. Little Necron-y. Yeah, even the clean head still has divots and stuff. But you can see how like the head connects up, and you can see how like the little gears, like where it connects up and grabs a hold. It's pretty cool. But there you go. Necron Warrior. First of many. Well, first of 20. I don't know if I'll do all 20. I'll probably just do 10 for now. And we'll definitely be doing some videos. What time are we at here? Holy carmoles. Do we have enough time to get into another one? So, this is going to be B7 and B7 and B8A. So where's B7? There's 7 right there. So, and then we're going to do the gun. So it's 8A. Where's 8A? 8A right there. See, this one here is not connected up to the blade, so we can just pretty much, oh, it's connected to the hose though. So we'll cut the hose first, and then we'll cut the rifle away, and we'll finish off at the shoulder and cut away from that little nub that goes inside. There we go. That's free. The body is B6. B6. That's 6 right there. So, you know what? I'm going to do this one first. I'm going to cut this one closer to the body, just because the spine is actually oh shit! I forgot to change focus. Sorry. Let's go back to auto. And there we go. Sorry, folks. I forgot I changed the focus. So anyway, as I was going to say, where this connects up to the torso here, I cut this part here at the thigh first. I think I'm going to make the cuts here because the spine is actually a point of where the part can break. You run the risk of breaking that part because you can fatigue that spine joint. And yeah, so I am going to cut this properly right at the bit. And I'm just going to give a little turn as I cut, and very gently, there it is. Bang, he's free. So now I'm going to cut the foot free. Oop. Cut the foot free. That. Bang, and bang. There we go. Where are we here? James and Kent, they are definitely growing me as sculpts. I could see me doing a kill team. Ooh, a kill team. Yes, definitely could do a kill team with these guys. And they've got like enough personality that, you know, they would look cool, right? So yeah. Ghost Starman Deluxe, a little too tight. Tragic loss averted. Jobs I'm not is what is that what your wife says? Ha 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 ha. Jobs on that. Fuck! I thought Ozzy Osbourne was holding the model. Then I know what I'm not too twitchy yet, but I'm getting twitchy. I was up early today because I'm up at a decent time every day to, you know, do my usual thing, get things prepared, and, you know, get things filmed. Gotta use my magnifiers here. There we go. Right there. Bang. Look at this one. Bang. This one here in the shoulder. Do it nice and flush against the hole. Bang. Flush against the hole. Sounds like a movie title. There we go. Okay, and then this one here, there's a little nub right on the thigh. And there we go. That's it. Okay. On to mold lining. Mold lining? You know what I mean. Go Starman. So you said the box lets you build up to 20 of either weapon? Yeah, because you can, because it's basically two of the same sprue, and there are enough guns to do either or, right? Because they're duplicate sprues. Hold on, am I holding the sprues the right way? Man, I'm confused now. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, they're duplicate sprues, aren't they? Frick, I'm holding it the wrong way again. Yeah. You can see here at the corner, right? They're duplicate. And you have, right, how many guns? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18. I must have missed a gun somewhere. Oh, right, because 19, that's 19, so there's got to be 20. Did I frickin' do that wrong? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Am I missing a gun? How's that possible? Or Ghost, are you just messing with me? But there should be 20 guns on the sprue, right? If you can do 10 dudes. 10 dudes per sprue? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is there only 9 dudes? Is there only 9 dudes on the sprue? I thought you could do 20 warriors. Is it not 20 warriors? Or maybe there's more warriors on another sprue. See, like, yeah. Maybe, or I'm not counting properly. Oh wait, I've already done one. Wow. Wow. Right now my brain's going eat the pudding, eat the pudding, eat the pudding, eat the pudding. And you know, yeah, I'm not thinking. Oh yeah, Dr. Zantos grass. Oh man. See, that's why it's taken me an hour and a half to get one Necron warrior assembled that are only, what, 4 parts, right? 5 parts. The torso, legs, arm, front torso, head. The 5 parts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Oh shit, man. You know, for some that would be embarrassing. For me, it's very embarrassing. Oh man, I'm an idiot. Oh man, James and Kent, I'll still end up converting him to do a kill team. Yeah, definitely, right? Ghost Star Deluxe, that's really nice, honestly. Thought GW would bum us with 10 of each. Oh, right, like 10 of the rifle and 10 of the, what is it called? The Reaper. The Gauss Reaper. Gauss or Gauss? James, have you already done another dude? Thanks, James. I didn't read that comment while I was still counting the shit. Yeah. I'm hungry. I need food. Oh man. Jobs left nut. Maybe you should do it like Dracula. 1 Necron. 2 Necron. 3. I love that Chappelle bit about Sesame Street. If you're not familiar with it, watch Chappelle, Sesame Street. It'll turn you on to that one. Anyway, pretty sure it was Chappelle, right? It was Chappelle. Yeah, it was Chappelle. Ghost Starman. I say it like Gorse. Gorse? It's Gorse. It's a Gorse Reaper. Oh, man. What's the original one? Gorse Flare. Gorse Flare and Gorse Reaper. I'm sure somebody out there is just right proper triggered because we're totally missaying both ways. Gauss, and Gorse. I might just say Gorse from now on because that's too funny. Because I'm sure that's going to trigger every Necron player out there. It's Gorse. Or any electricians. Or physicists. Dr. Zantos, maybe you should go eat before you start eating the models. Well, I'm not going to eat the models. I don't have any snacks down here. Oh, I got some Tic Tac. I'll have a Tic Tac. I'll have a Tic Tac. I got wintergreen Tic Tacs. So, I'll have a few. There we go. I'll take 3. Maybe a little bit of sugar will help even me out for the moment. Until I get some food in my stomach. Alright. Time to clear some nubs. I'm still laughing with the shaking like Ozzy Osbourne. Mind you, though, that man did my share and your share of drugs. Same with Keith Richards. But that cat could still hold a guitar, which was impressive. In these summer months, as it obviously is invariably warm, and you're cleaning models, you'll find you get kind of sweaty and kind of tacky. And I highly recommend periodically going and washing your hands. You should wash your hands anyway in this time we're living in anyway, but yeah. Go wash your hands, just get rid of some of that, excess oils on your flesh. Ghost Starman Deluxe, hold on. There was a recent White Dwarf with a bunch of canon pronunciations. I'll check that. You're going to check to see if it's Gorsh? Don't be an ass. It's not Gorsh. Gauss, it's a term of in physics. It's the magnetic polarity. Dr. Santos, I've gone to a light keto diet. No wheat, pasta, potatoes, no unnecessary sugars on weekdays. Only been on it for 3 weeks so far, though. And how do you feel? That's the important part. When you go on these diets, it can affect you, and sometimes you can feel like, oh, I feel great. I feel so energized. But then all of a sudden, you stay on it for a while, and then you're going to end up with some sort of deficiency, right? So, yeah. But I don't know. I'm not really one for fad diets or anything like that. I mean, I'm watching what I eat these days because of the diabetes, and I got to keep my sugars down. But every day I have corned beef and hash. Corned beef hash. Not hash, but hash, yeah. Anyway, it's minced or it's chopped up potatoes and corned beef, and that's what I have every day for the last 2 years, 3 years since I've become diabetic. And I have that every day as my breakfast, and that usually holds me until lunchtime. Sometimes, and some days, I forget to eat. It all depends. I find that when I get like this, it's because I've been having a lot of sugar, and I get kind of jittery and stuff, and around my meal times. And whereas when I'm very controlled as far as how much sugar I'm intaking, I don't find I get jittery. And so the jitteriness is obviously my sugars, right? As anybody with low sugars, like either type 1, type 2 diabetes will tell you. James and Kent, I'm at the stage of my life where I have realized I need to start thinking about the sort of world we leave for Keith Richards. That dude is eternal. Yeah, Keith Richards, he's gonna live. He's gonna outlive all of us, for sure. He's immortal. He's proof of human immortality. Ghost Starman, pronunciation guide doesn't have a goss in it. I'm going to keep saying gorse or goss. Gorse? Gorse. Ghost Starman, dang it, Carl Friedrich Gauss was German. I guess it's Gauss. Gauss? Gauss? See, I've always heard it used as Gauss or Gorse. Gorse. Frick. You got me saying it now. You're an ass. Mr. Gibb, my daughter has type 1. Yeah. And you gotta have just like a little bit. Now, I mean, I'm type 2, I believe. Thankfully, I don't have to take a needle or anything like that. I'm just taking pills. And with this type of diabetes, the goal is to reverse it. Now, mind you, I have not been, very strict about it, and I probably need to get more strict about it, but it's so hard. So hard. Dr. Xantos, well, I'm doing fine so far. I was surprised how much energy I still have during the work days, work days, without bread and such. I'll try it for the summer and see how it turns out. Yeah, with diets, especially when you switch 1-2 weeks, you're not going to see anything. It's once because basically it's your fuel intake, right? And your body is absorbing whatever minerals. And then that can take time depending upon your mineral intake, right? And I don't eat that much bread to begin with, so I'm fine with not much breads because I'm not a big fan of breads anyway. I can go a whole week without a bread and not even notice, But I do eat at least pasta once, sometimes twice a week. Which I know is probably not very good for me anyway, but who knows? I don't know. People eat pasta every day. Who knows? Which is why I don't really buy into this whole fad thing about diets and stuff like that, because, you know what I mean? Like, same with like the theory of 3 meals a day. That is relatively new concept to our evolution. For thousands and thousands, millions of years, we've just eaten whenever we're hungry. What is a modern dilemma is the amount of processed sugars that we're dealing with, as well as the idea of having 3 square meals a day, right? We may be taking in way too many calories that we need, and it's probably pretty evident by the amount of obesity that we have, right? So anyway, I think I'm done for now. It's 3 minutes left of the show. I've gotten 1 Necron done. A 2-hour show, and I've gotten 1 Necron done. But hopefully, you guys have seen a peek into my process for preparing models, because I don't think I do a lot of videos showing the preparation of stuff. Maybe I'll do a proper, kind of how I go about it, right? But anyway, where am I? Ghost Starman Deluxe. Bro, bread is awesome though. Sure. See, I'm already feeling a little bit better now, and I've just had just a little bit of sugar, just a couple Tic Tacs, and it's just taking a bit of the edge off. Am I still twitchy? Let me see here. Can I hold a fine part? Can I hold a fine part? Yeah. See, I'm not quite. There's a little bit there. I think it's the way I'm turning though. Yeah, you can see a little bit of twitch going on. But anyway, enough of my twitchiness. Oh, Twitch. We're on Twitch too. It's Twitch, and I'm twitchy. Dr. Santos, I don't think I could give up bread completely. Stale, a bit crunchy rye bread. Whoa, mama. Stale, a bit crunchy rye bread. I had rye. I'm not a huge fan of rye. I'm not a big fan of breads to begin with. Except on like sausage buns, hamburgers, stuff like that. Ghost Starman, garlic bread. Oh, garlic bread. Okay, yeah, okay. Garlic bread is awesome. Regular sandwich bread, bagels, technically pizza. Yeah, technically pizza, yeah. I don't have pizza that often though. James and Kent, these easy to build models. 1 done in an hour. Over an hour. I had 1 done in over an hour. It took me. But I mean, I've been goofing around, talking, and you know what I mean? So it's not like, don't look to me for speed. And I know I'm a slow hobbyist. I'm not a very fast hobbyist. I don't assemble fast, clean fast, or paint fast. I'm not a fast guy. I'm not in a rush. Why am I in a rush? Sometimes you gotta stop and smell the roses. So that's important. Ghost Starman, the peek into Indominus, and your prep process was very helpful. Thanks, Chris. Okay, well, again, glad we kind of saw something, right? I mean, I fully intended this episode just to be me, just kind of cleaning models, and I thought I would have got a little further along than this. So off camera, I got more work ahead of me assembling models. Ghost Starman, if only Twitchy were here. Twitchy's here, and Dumont Holt, pizza. Twitchy's here. Twitchy's always here. Dr. Xantos, if you ever come to Finland, I'll treat you to something awesome. You like salted fish, right? I do like salted fish, actually. Yes, I do. I do like salted fish. Twitchy, Kranos, heya! Uber lurking as I'm working. He's working, so he's not supposed to be talking much. He's not supposed to be talking. He's going to get in trouble. Twitchy, subscribe. Tier 1. Thank you, Twitchy. Oh, yeah, I forgot this. Well, thank you, Twitchy. I know Twitchy. Twitchy's still. I've been meaning to talk to Twitchy because Twitchy's a moderator for this channel and the Discord, and also we play Clash of Clans, and yeah. And I also got the pleasure of meeting Twitchy when I was over in the UK last year, which was real awesome. Hung out for a while. Of course, I think I was supposed to meet Ghost Starman, but thankfully I didn't meet him because I probably would have punched him in the nose. That's pretty awful, eh? I'm glad I didn't meet Ghost of Starman Deluxe. I would have just punched him. That's just mean. Oh, man. Ghost of Starman, how are you going to paint the Necrons? You're just going to find out. You're a patron, aren't you? If you're a patron, you're going to find out early. Because people aren't going to find for about another 2 weeks almost. Yeah. By the time about the pre-order comes around, that's when the public will get to see the videos and what I do. Dr. Xantos, it is settled. You'll be eating good when you're here then. Oh, definitely. I'd like to go see Finland. It'd be cool. I'd travel all over Europe and everything. Goes to Starman. Twitchy, yeah, it was cool. Yeah, it was cool. It was fun. We sat down together. We had a drink or two. Sat around, chatted. Dumont. I've heard pink Necrons are all the rage. Well, I like to be fashionable. Goes to Starman. That would have been a bit illegal at the time. I was still a minor. When you say it like that, man, it sounds wrong. Like really wrong. Like just that statement on its own. Never mind the context of which the conversation's occurring. That statement as a sentence. Alrighty, folks, I'm going to end this because I'm going to go grab some lunch and, and continue working on these Necrons. Hopefully I get a few more done. I want to thank you guys for tuning in today. I want to thank everybody for talking, keeping me from getting my work done, apparently. And, join me every Friday here on Twitch. I do this live, and of course I post this afterwards on YouTube. And if you're watching this after the fact on YouTube, I do this every Friday on Twitch, usually around 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I usually put out a Twitter and a Facebook post saying that I'm doing this. Oh, also on Discord. Join us on Discord because, we're talking all the time there. But anyway, if you're a patron, you're going to get early access to the videos I'm going to be creating with these models. So hit me up there if you want to tune in early and get early access. And plus I have a whole bunch of patron only type videos there as well. So, and it helped keep me doing this and creating and entertaining and informing and all that other stuff. Yeah. Jabba's left not see you tomorrow, Ozzy. Can you read my lips, Jabba? Can you read lips? Alright, I'm getting the hell out of here. I'll see you guys tomorrow on Way of the Brush. Jeez Louise. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun dun dun. Oh shit.